The Toyota Tundra you see behind me is a 2011 with 93,000 miles, and I bought it new way back in 2011, 10 years ago. This truck is currently my dad's truck, but it's now being passed to my uncle, so we're keeping it in the family, and my dad's getting a smaller truck, a Nissan Frontier. These trucks have an incredible reputation for reliability, durability, and just they never seem to break. Now, is that actually true? Well, today we're going to find out. Hi everyone, my name is Ian, and this is Big Rock Media. So what we're going to do today is take a walk around of the inside and the outside of this Tundra and show you how it's worn over these past 10 years and 93,000 miles. So I'll show you any wear and tear that has crept up on this truck and any issues which we've had with it. So let's find out if the Toyota trucks hold up as well as everyone says. Okay, so why don't we start here at the front of the truck. Now this truck did receive a new front bumper just the other day because it was in a minor fender bender. My dad kind of hit the fence in his yard, so we had to get a new front bumper. Now you can see here the headlights, just a little bit of fading right here on the top, not too bad. You can prevent that by sort of waxing them or keeping some sort of sealant on them, but you know, yellowing headlights is something that you deal with on older vehicles. The grille is held up just fine, no real issues there. That could be buffed up, polished up real nice. Let's start walking our way around the truck. So you can see the paintwork. It does, this magnetic gray color does show the scratches somewhat easily, so you do see a lot of the smaller scratches in the paintwork. I think the paint's pretty thin, but I think that's common with most vehicles. One thing you'll see is that I did replace the antenna. The stock metal antenna was either lost or broken, so I replaced it with a rubber antenna. Looking at the windshield wiper stocks in this area, not too much fading, so that's kind of what you'd expect there. Nothing too bad after 10 years. Let's look at the wheels and the wheel wells and the suspension and tires. So you can see in here, just dirty. This truck is a Southern California truck. It's spent its whole life in Southern California, so we don't have ice, we don't really have salt roads and the rust issues that some people have. So that looks good. Talking about the wheel, so this is the TRD racing wheels. This is the Rock Warrior package truck. So if you can see, this center part here does have some wear and tear on it. Not terrible, but it's kind of wearing off the finish. So it doesn't look that great. Also the wheels themselves, I suppose they could just be cleaned up a bit. Now these have had the little chrome rings here removed because they just looked ugly, but I think somewhere we still have the chrome rings that bolt onto this, the fake bead locks as I like to call them. But they've held up okay. I just put these running boards on, so those are new because this truck didn't have running boards, and my uncle is a little bit shorter, so he wanted some help getting in the truck. Let's look at the side panels here and the doors. The trim, like this is not faded, this is not worn out, so that's in good shape. Let's jump up and kind of look on the roof here. So this could use a good wash, wax, clay bar, all that kind of stuff, but I don't have time, so I'm not going to be able to do it. But it's fine. This truck was stored inside the first few years when I had it, and then it was stored. Since my dad's had it the last, I think, 5 or 6 years, he doesn't have a garage, so he's had to store it outside in the sun and the ice and the weather and the snow up here where we live here in the mountains. It's we get snow and ice, as you can see, but not too much. The side panels here on the back, no typical scratching. In terms of these rails, these are in good shape. Looking down at the rear wheel, tire, suspension, we can see here no issues to speak of there. Looking at this wheel, yeah, you can see again this finish here is kind of wearing off, but not a huge deal. Let's see. So the exhaust, everything looks good, giving you a nice view under here. The spare tire, probably need to check the air pressure on that. We did put on that TRD sway bar, that helped a lot going around corners. He did have a little mishap here in a parking lot with his bumper, but that's not the truck's fault. Looking around at the back, typical scratches from the gas strut. These tailgates are damped, which is nice. That's holding up just fine after 10 years, no issues. So the bed itself, you can see it is scratched up a bit. I used to load a lot of motorcycles and gear in here. We should have put a bed liner on it when I bought it brand new, but I didn't. You can see here, I do have the bed mat, the rubber bed mat, but it would have been nice to have a bed liner because then you wouldn't have all these scratches. Now, if you're really a keen-eyed viewer, you might notice that The rear window was supposed to have a sliding rear window, but this one was replaced because someone smashed it, someone vandalized it, so it got replaced with the window without the slider for some reason. This wheel and tire, same thing again. I mean, just a little finish issues, but nothing too bad. These could be polished up quite a bit. Looking inside at the suspension and everything here looks good. So looking underneath here, again, nothing atypical from what you would expect for this many miles. This front driver wheel is sort of the worst one in terms of the wear here. I don't really know what's causing that, but no big deal. Let's, well, first let's top the hood, look under there, and then we'll go into the interior and I'll show you what we have going on. This hood opened up here. So you'll notice the hood has gas struts, and after 10 years, they're not worn out. They're still holding the hood up, which is great. A lot of times you get these gas struts on vehicles that wear out. This one doesn't have that problem yet. I did clean this up a little bit under here, but it looks real good. I mean, typical dust, a little bit of corrosion here, but that's, you know, that's in every car. If you don't maintain the terminals properly, they get a little bit of corrosion. Looking at sort of the valve covers and everything, nothing unusual. Everything looks real good. Radiators, oil coolers, all that kind of stuff. The fluids. Yeah, so nothing unusual to report under here. Just typical wear and tear. Okay, let's go now to the interior to take a look. So stepping in here to the interior, I did clean this up a little bit last night with some detailing spray. This is, you know, they're all hard plastics, but they're really durable. They hold together really well, no rattles or squeaks, and nothing's broken here. These feel cheap, but you know, they hold up. The door cards, the pockets are fine. Nothing rattles or comes loose. Taking a look at the dash and the steering wheel. The steering wheel is plastic on this truck, which feels cheap. You know, you think for almost 40 grand they could have given you leather, but you had to go up to a higher grade to get that. All the controls and switches, nothing's worn off, nothing's weird. All the vents are still working really well, just kind of what you expect from a Toyota. It does have the rubber floor mat, so let's step in here, take a look. Gauges look real good. I'm going to talk about, I don't really like the design of these gauges on the earlier Tundras. They did change that in 2014. Taking a look at the interior, you know, again, tiny bit of like, I don't know, oh, this comes off, like a little bit of something there. I like these big knobs, really easy to use, really easy to see, even if you have old people eyes. All this stuff works great. It's kind of an interesting storage, needs to be cleaned out, but it works good. Clips in. Center console, nothing's broken, just, you know, a little bit dusty. I like how they give you the dual glove boxes, pretty cool in the Tundra. Good job there. That's some dust in there, but nothing has, the theme you can see here, nothing has worn out, nothing has broken after 10 years and 93,000 miles. There's nothing weird about it. Let's take a look at the upholstery. Okay, so on the upholstery you can see the typical sort of bolsters here are a little bit worn from sliding in and out of the high truck, which makes sense because a lot of pressure gets put on it. You can see a little bit of creasing here in the material, and the material is coming a little bit loose from the padding, but overall I'd say for almost 100,000 miles in pretty good shape. The seat is still comfortable, the padding still feels good. Just a little tiny bit of collapse on this side, but not bad at all. Headrest looks good, everything looks good. Let's look in the back of this double cab model. Again, nothing broken on the interior. These cup holders, fine. Power outlet. Now, the rear seats have not been used very much, so they don't really show anywhere at all. Under seat storage compartments. These can rattle around a little bit, but that's just how they're designed. That's nothing wrong with them. Stepping around to the passenger side, looking at the seat again. A little bit of dust and fuzz, but nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing has worn out. This is what you expect from Toyota. You've got room for, you know, 16 pairs of sunglasses up here. I truly don't know why they have so many, but they do. Headliner, great, no drooping of the headliner. So if you're thinking about buying one of these trucks used, I think you should have no hesitation at all, and there's a reason why they hold their value so darn well. Okay, briefly, if we want to talk about any mechanical issues that we've had with the truck in the 10 years that we've had it in our family, zero. We've had none. And I guess that's why you buy a Toyota truck, because they don't break. At least the current ones don't. I'm a little worried about the future with a new Tundra and the twin turbochargers and hybrids and all the stuff we're hearing about. I don't know if that's going to be as reliable as these ones were, but I guess time will tell. On this truck, we've had to replace the battery, which is typical. The original battery lasted almost 10 years. We just replaced it a few months ago. I think there has been one brake job on this truck. I don't remember if it was all the pads or just some of them. I think the rotors are original, but I think it had to get pads. We've changed the differential fluids, the transfer case fluid, the transmission fluid, and engine oil really religiously, so this truck will probably run forever and never break. No other issues. No issues with cooling system or the starter or anything. The four-wheel drive works fine. You can watch my videos on what I love and what I hate about the Tundra separately, and I'll link those here. But yeah, there's nothing mechanically that's ever been wrong with it. It's been flawless, and I think it will probably continue to be flawless. If you can live with the poor fuel economy of these trucks, which they have because they have a giant V8 5.7 liter engine, they have the 6-speed automatic, which also never breaks because it's made by Aisin, which is owned by Toyota. These are excellent work trucks, extremely durable, and I hope the new Tundras are as good as this. But that's the report on this one. 93,000 miles, 10 years, no issues, very little wear and tear. I'm so glad that it's staying in the family. I really wanted it to stay in the family. I didn't want it to be sold to someone outside, so we're going to keep it in the family, and who knows, maybe I'll end up with it again someday. I hope this video was useful for you guys. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Let me know how your Tundra's holding up. Have you had any issues with it? Any weird wear and tear that you want to talk about? Let's put it down below in the comments and have a discussion. This was Ian from Big Rock Media. Thanks again for your support, for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the road. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for your support.